Hello viewers, welcome back to ATV Nadi class Meena Nadi 1. Before we begin, let us pray God and our preceptors. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. That was just prayer for my preceptors. Because of them, we are actually discussing like this, we have to thank Facebook for giving this opportunity to learn Meenanadi 1. So in the first class of Meenanadi 1, we just only discussed about the Rashi, that is a science, the characteristics of science, and the basic stellar, three characteristics like the sattvic nature of the constellations, the rajasic nature of the constellations, and the tamoguna or tamasic nature of the constellations. So today we are going to see the rajasic, the tamasic, and the sattvic constellations as well as the planets in this second class of Nadi, Meena Nadi 1. There are two parts in Meena. That is why I always stress it is Meena Nadi 1, and there is another part which is Meena Nadi 2. It's very simple. In the first class, we actually discussed how the Nadi originated. It's like there was a conversation between the Saptarishis, and that's how the Nadi came into existence. It was encoded, and a lot of learneds, they studied Sanskrit, they studied this ancient, the Nadi leaves, and they have translated it. And now we'll see. Just as a recap, as it happens, I just wanted to remind all that the Sattvic constellation or Sattvic nakshatra, the Rajasic or Rajo nakshatra or constellation, and the Tamasic or Tamo or Tamasic nakshatra or Tamasic constellations are the three types of constellation we deal in Meena Nadi 1. As of planets is concerned, again, the sun is star. It is in Meena Nadi 1, it is taken as Rajasic, a mixture of both good and bad. While to explain in simple, every morning sun rises and it actually deducts one day of our longevity. So we cannot say sun is actually a sattva and he is actually a natural malefic planet who sun. So this is not aware. Even the Vedic astrology, like so-called astrologers will tell you as if sun is actually a benefic. No, in fact, sun is a good planet as well as a bad in reality, because it actually it will give a lot of challenges when health is concerned, and it will deduct one day every day of your longevity. So that is why sun and Saturn are always opposed, because Saturn is longevity and sun is actually opposing it, because sun actually is health and it detects one day of longevity every day. So there are a lot of, it's not only logic, it's not only science, it is something. Meena Nadi 1 is, or Nadi is beyond all of it. I mean, I don't tell beyond logic or beyond things. So now you got an idea like why sun is rajasic, that is a mixture of good and bad. Let us move to the next planet, moon. Moon is actually a natural satellite, but the definition of planet, don't take it as a literal meaning of planet. A heavenly body which influence earth, or the living beings, the plants and the animals, that is flora and fauna on earth, any heavenly body. If you take a Ceres, it's an asteroid, or anything like the natural satellites of Mars, the Chiron and the Phobos and the Chiron of Mars is also acts like a natural satellite for Mars. So like, if there would be, for the sake of argument, there is a life on Mars, the gravitational pull of the Chiron or the Phobos, that's the Mars. Mars has two natural satellites, have an influence. Like they would be have to be on a karmic map if someone takes birth on Mars. Who? Phobos and Chiron. The same way we take birth on Earth, a planet Earth, where Moon is actually a natural satellite. So then also we consider it as a planet because in Sanskrit there is something called as graha. It means planet. Graha, gra, grahyate iti graha. We tell one thing, one heavenly body which has an absorption or absorption coefficient. It's something like science, the NASA will talk about a planet which absorbs the radiation, which gives the radiation, yeah, absorption coefficient. That's the reason Moon is also a planet. That is why we consider it. This is done in the basics of fundamentals of Vedic astrology. They say Moon is a natural satellite and has a very much influence. The rise and fall of the tide is due to Moon. So now we come to know the Moon. In Meena Nadi 1, we take it as Rajo. Rajo. Moon is also Rajo, just like Sun. Why? Moon has both the properties of good and the bad. So this is about the Moon. I will move to the next planet, which is Mars. Mars is commander in chief. If Sun is the king and Moon is queen of a whole empire, then Mars is commander in chief, rebel. So to be a rebel, he cannot be everything. Every time he cannot be good. Logic, right? Commander in chief has to win opponent. So he has to be somewhat evil, otherwise he will lose the battle. And this explains why Mars, M-A-R-S, Mars is a tamasic planet. Mars is a tamasic planet. It's not a Rajo planet. Mars is a tamasic or tamo planet. So I don't tell Mars is completely evil. It depends on the rising or lagna whether Mars is a natural benefic or natural malefic. I'm sorry. Mars is actually a natural malefic. I meant to say functional. You may wonder why is Anil is telling why is this Mars is a natural. I don't tell. It is actually functional. A lot of people say yes, Mars means Mangal or which is auspicious, but in reality, Mars is a natural malefic. But if you take the functionality of Mars, it may become functional benefic, that is polarity Mars plus or polarity minus or malefic. Polarity means you take a battery of you say 5 volts or 10 volts, it has two polarities, plus and minus. In the same case is with the planets. So I call Mars is a tamasic or I can call evil. Yes, exactly, you heard it right. And the tantrics, you may have seen people who you hack the negative energy and all, tantrics and all, they actually have a very negative Mars. Actually, positive Mars is a cop. You know what? There is a difference between a cop and a criminal. Yes. One bad judgment call. So the positive Mars is cop, police. And the negative Mars is, Gunda. I don't tell Guna in Hindi, a culprit who actually criminal, as simple as that. So Mars is a tamasic or tamo evil planet in Meena Nadi 1. So this is required. You know what? It's not only Mars, the constellation of the Dhanishta. First take it from Murgashira, or called as Murgashira. It's ruled by Mars, is a tamasic constellation. You come to Chitta, which is in the first in the last 2 quarters of Virgo and the first 2 quarters of Libra. Chitta is also a tamasic constellation, stellar constellation. You take Dhanishta, the last 2 quarters of Capricorn and the first 2 quarters of Aquarius. The Dhanishta is ruled over by Mars. Again, it is a tamasic constellation. So when I'm telling tamasic planet, it also means that the constellations which is owned by these planets are also becomes tamasic. So this is very, very important in Meena Nadi 1. So now we'll move to the next planet. We come to Mercury. Okay, there's very much story. A lot of people, a lot of members, a lot of students, a lot of people ask me why is Mercury considered a sattvic planet, but in fact he is a Rajo planet. Okay, there is a story. like in the mythology, what happened is Jupiter's wife was Tara. What happened is, you may have read in mythology, Moon actually wanted to, Moon is a sensuous guy, so he was attracted, infatuated to Tara. Tara was very beautiful. We should not look into evil eyes, but unfortunately, that may be karmic things. Even for angels like Moon, what happened is, I don't want to tell it's much intimate, and also the angels do have some other kind of thing. Actually, they too have the attraction. What happened here is, the Jupiter's wife Tara, she's a very good woman. Actually, Moon is a culprit. Now you ask why Moon is deception. Moon is culprit because Moon actually cheated, and Jupiter got to know. Then he actually closed his eyes and just prayed, and then he got to know his wife has no flaw here. It's because of Moon, and he cursed Moon that let the nodes swallow him. That is why we have an eclipse. So the story of eclipse is because of curse of Jupiter, because Moon actually is a culprit. He seduced Jupiter's wife, and out of that there was an offspring who's no it's nothing but is no one but Mercury. So Mercury, I don't want to use the word illegitimate. What happened is, Mercury's father is Moon, and mother is Tara. Here, so we can say Jupiter is stepfather, but here for angels it's a very different story. Angels, it's a different story. We cannot take the actual physical things which is happening, because angels are sattvic creatures. What happened there was entirely shock for Jupiter, but then also we actually say that Tara was having no fault. Yes, Tara was one among the very devoted, devoted wife. What actually happened is Moon actually hypnotized, and Tara actually looked in terms of his own child, because Tara is a bit very affectionate. So I don't want to use anything, but our scriptures have actually assassinated the character of Tara. I really tell it is really a half knowledge thing, because Ahalya, Draupadi, Tara, Mandodari, and Sita in the mythology, we give a very top position, and that is the reason why Moon is to be blamed. Moon is an actual culprit over there. So that's the reason I'm telling you Moon is Rajasic, because he has good and the bad. And Mercury, oh my god, Mercury is now illegitimate. But what to do? Moon is actually father. Moon is actually father. And now what happened? Jupiter cannot accept, because it's not his own son, right? But okay, for Tara, he cured it, because some flaw actually came to Tara also, he cured it. But he cannot accept Mercury. That is the reason even Jupiter and Mercury are considered opposed. They are both are sattvic planets, but Mercury even prayed, why, what did they do? Even being the angel, he had to take birth like this. It's actually like that. Then also Mercury made his own sadhana, because there was already a Jupiter's Amsha in Tara. I don't. This is something, once two angels marry. It is so important that even Jupiter's Amsha was there in Tara. So this also happened. So that is the reason Mercury is also a very, very, very intellect person. It's not because of the Moon. Okay, his actual thing was, he actually got it from own. We cannot take chromosomes and all. Here, angels don't have that physical thing. So here, what we have to understand is Mercury share these things from Jupiter as well. He is son of Jupiter also, but unfortunately not own. So this happened. Then that is the reason people don't mix silver and gold. Gold and silver are two things, but they don't go. They don't go well in the same path. Why? Because Jupiter, being like very is a preceptor to the whole world, he cannot actually hate Moon. But there will be something because Moon, but later what happened after giving the curse, there is always understanding, because Moon is also the angel, and Jupiter also is angel, but Moon don't have any enemies. But unfortunately Jupiter had to curse. So that is the reason these both are not bosom friends. You see, Moon and Jupiter, people consider it as friends. It's not exactly true. What happened here is this. So now Mercury came. So Mercury, even though he actually made some sadhana because he's an angel. Then he actually got that thing. He's an intellect. He's a very, very, very intelligent person. And people call Mercury also culprit. That is because of Moon. Actually, Moon is also father, right? So he said it right. So whatever the Mercury's negative thing has come, it is from Moon. Whatever positive has come, that is from Tara. Whenever we refer Tara here, that is Jupiter only, because angels don't have this. So this is the reason why Mercury is also considered as culprit, because his father Moon was like that, but actual biological father. That's the problem. But here we don't deal that way. Angels, they are pure. They also have a power to create offspring from their dust or sweat also. Angels create their own children from sweat also. But in terms of this, Mercury was born this way, but still he accepted the reality that he has this one. Tara had no flaw. So Tara actually was very hypnotized, and this happened. Still, Mercury is a Sattvic planet only because of Jupiter's Amsha. Jupiter and Mercury together in the chart, it creates a very high IQ, because Jupiter and Mercury is a very, very good combination in chart, because Mercury is a devotee. Mercury also gives spiritualism, and Jupiter is a preceptor. Jupiter is a very soft planet. He cursed Moon, but with Mercury he's okay, because you know what, whenever Jupiter sees Mercury, he cannot give that results. There will be a Mercury and Jupiter will cause arguments, because unfortunately it happened so Mercury is not the own child of Jupiter. But obviously Tara likes Mercury, because it will be their affinity. But Jupiter and Mercury together cannot give 100% results, because it may take off spirituality. It may give science. Jupiter, Mercury, people believe in science, but they don't believe in spirituality. It creates an argumentative nature as well. Yes, because Jupiter is a wisdom, which is a knowledge. Actually, knowledge and intellect both comes, what happens. So this is the reason Jupiter, Mercury, both are Sattvic planets, but both cannot be together. Yeah, there is a pros and cons actually. So this is the actual mythological story. Even Jupiter, Venus also, both preceptors will ruin the native. But people think both preceptors, Jupiter and Venus. No, it's not only that. You see, Jupiter, actual a pure and unafflicted, I'm using the word unafflicted. Jupiter don't have ego. But if Jupiter is afflicted, then all the negative quality comes to the person. So we have to be very careful while seeing the chart. If Jupiter is afflicted, Mercury is afflicted, we have to assign only 5% or 10% of Sattvic nature. Rest, that person is maybe evil or maybe having mixed qualities. To have a good heart, Jupiter and Mercury both should be good in the chart. If either one or Jupiter or Mercury is afflicted in the chart, then there is something in the wrong, because these two planets only are Sattvic. Rest all is like that, because Mercury, oh my God, Mercury is one planet which give amazing communication, and it will also make a person go spiritual as well. Good Mercury. If the Mercury is afflicted, it's really a gone case. So now we move forward to Jupiter, because we'll start telling Jupiter. I told you story. Jupiter is a very soft planet, because he has a responsibility of delivering the knowledge to the whole angels. He's called as the preceptor of angels. And Jupiter, and Greek, I'm not telling Greek or Hebrew. Ju means two. Peter means the guru of two words. Yes, you heard it right. Jupiter means he is the lord of two words. He has to guide the angels. He has to guide the people on earth as well. That is why people having a very strong Jupiter, they either work in a church or a religious institution, or maybe a very high position in mosque. Irrespective of any religion, there are more than 10 religions. I just read a book. There are 12 religions. Whoever is related to a religious institution, their Jupiter will be good. This is a foundation. You come across many charts many charts. Some are related to the people working very close to a deity, deity, or or somewhere in church or mosque. Their Jupiter has to be good. Without Jupiter, they cannot be related to any of the religious institution. Financial institution also comes, but I'm very much talking about in very much confined here to the religious things and all. But yes, because Jupiter is the main planet which actually takes a knowledge of the religion or something which is actually required. The belief of God, the main thing is God. It's not about religions. I just told you, if a person is believes in God, or if he's an atheist, we can be known from Jupiter only. A good Jupiter, he believes in God. If Jupiter is afflicted, that person is an atheist. He don't believe in the existence of God. So with this, Jupiter is also a sattvic, or a very pure hearted angel compared to others, because that is the reason a Jupiter in an rising or an ascendant, if the Jupiter is in ascendant, fourth or seventh or the 10th, will remove all the negatives, because he is only light. Because I'm not comparing it to the sun, because sun here also produces a lot of health issues. You compare sun and Jupiter, the core temperature of Jupiter is still higher. They say like that, scientists they tell. But whatever you say, Jupiter was so humble also. The humbleness of Jupiter is well known. Out of the 9 angels, they all told that Jupiter is the most benefic planet, but Jupiter was not in a position to accept it. He told no, all the 9 angels which we are there in the actual conference, he told, we all work together, because the humbleness also is told by Jupiter, and that explains why Jupiter is a sattvic planet. We'll move on to the next angel, or we call it now devil guru. Oh my god, Venus. Venus is an amazing planet, is an amazing angel. I mean to say planet is just a position, like a post of a mayor or anything it comes, but in reality planets are angels, right? So Venus is angel. So it's not like it rules over feminine things, but actually as an angel, Venus is male. I mean to say Venus is male, but in terms he rules over women, because for women he is the Jiva Karaka. Yes, you heard it right. Venus is Jiva Karaka for women. So whenever in a female chart, in a woman's chart, if Venus is good, she will have a good life. If Venus is afflicted, it will not be there. Some affliction will be there. So now we see Venus is, I can say, he's not sattvic, he's a rajoguna. He is a combination of good and bad. Why? I can say he is benefic actually, but still he is Rajoguna. You may ask why. Venus is a Daitya Guru. He actually is a preceptor for devils. You seen movie Angels and Demons? Tom Hanks, yes. Angels, demons, both are there. But what if a preceptor of a devil becomes a Rajasic? Yes, he should have both, right? Because he actually guide these devils to take a war against the angels. So when a preceptor tells to take a war against angels instead of avoiding it, so obviously he cannot be sattvic. So means to say Venus actually had a curse. Even Venus is actually a very very good preceptor, but he had the curse that he had to guide the devils. But he don't have any intention of stopping the war, or initiating a war, because yes, Jupiter and Venus are two preceptors who actually control the war between the angels and the demons, because the angels and demons cannot go above their preceptor and start a war. That is why Jupiter and Venus both are in opposite teams. That is the reason if Jupiter and Venus be together in a chart, the native may sometimes face a loss of reputation, loss of money, loss of health, because people say yes, Jupiter and Venus do creates a sadhu. Sometimes sadhu means a person may leave everything, or if it is connected to a materialistic science, he may have a good thing. But there is one part of life he may say he may face something, because Jupiter and Venus are not at all syncing. That is the reason one is a sattvic planet, Jupiter, and Venus is actually Rajasic or Raju. So we'll move to the next planet, Saturn. Okay, here everyone say, why is Saturn a tamasic planet? He helps sometimes people do course. I mean, people know that Saturn gives results because of karma. You know, the Muladhara. With all the chakras, we have Muladhara, which is ruled over by the Capri, and the Aquarius rules over by Muladhara, which is the actual karma, the root. So Saturn only gives result due to the karma. He don't care if you are a king or a beggar. He gives you what you deserve, and that is the reason he is a lord of justice. He's justice. But why such a great being? Why should be a tamasic? Well, there is an explanation why Saturn is tamasic in nature. Saturn is nothing but darkness, and he also makes a person go in evil path. Why? Because of his karma. So this is the explanation. Because a sattvic planet like Jupiter and Mercury, if they are afflicted and because of karma, then only they will harm. But Saturn is not like that. He may be a king, a famous king called Vikramaditya was there. He may be a king, but Saturn don't give it. Like he don't care whether you are a king or a beggar. Saturn takes like he tests our patience. He gives he delays but never denies, and he also makes one to go on evil path. But it's not only directly, indirectly. Saturn actually blocks our mind due to our karma to go on a good path as well. That is why we always have to fear Saturn, because we have to pray Saturn that let him guide in the right way. If Saturn may make us, everyone may go to the left path because he is strong. I'm not telling Saturn is a gas giant. He's like 900 times the times of Earth. That is why he has the power. No, Saturn actually is a great teacher. Is a very, very great teacher. He gives very, very slower than the notes. So he's a planet of patience, and he is not much he's not much attached. I mean, he also promotes good family, but in a very simple way. Saturn is a very, very simple guy. He don't like to show off. And however, when it sits with the Venus, he may take off the luxury. There may be a limitation, because Saturn is a planet of simple and limitations. So luxury will be very much affected. If Venus and Saturn are together, sometimes you cannot speak much about the luxury or the marital life, because Saturn is a planet of limitation, and that's the reason Meena Nadi 1, we call Saturn as a tamasic. So we have covered the 7 planets, the base, the foundation, because the planets, whether they are sattvic, they are tamasic, or their rajasic, really matters here, and we also make it. So which are all the constellations of Saturn? The Pushya in the sign of Cancer, the Anuradha in the sign of Scorpio, and the Uttarabhadra in the sign of Pisces. These are all the tamasic constellations. But don't fear. It seems the tamasic planet like Saturn will do good in his own tamasic. Yes, you heard it right. The tamasic planet, it's a much advanced. I'll be telling in the upcoming classes. A tamasic planet, yes, these are all a tamasic planet will do good in a tamasic constellation. It doesn't mean a sattvic planet will do good in sattvic constellation. No, even the strength matters. But whenever you go to a higher stellar methods or nakshatra methods, you have to make sure whether you are dealing with a sattvic planet or sattvic constellation, rajasic planet or a rajasic constellation, or a tamasic planet or a tamasic constellation. If sattva, raja, and tamo, if you clearly learn it, then you will come to know what. So Saturn here is a karmic planet also, but it's not like Rahu and Ketu, because Saturn is a teacher. When it comes to the 8th planet, Rahu, or the dragon head or the north of node, we say not really the left path, because if I tell Rahu is only negative, then that will not make any sense. I told you polarity, right? Positive Rahu is Rahu sometimes gives diplomatic nature as well. Rahu gives you body, the strength of the shoulders, Rahu will give you courage, which is very much required. Rahu gives you. Rahu is a person who is in charge of a jail, so very brave thing and all. And Rahu is a person with a huge I can say shoulders, because Bahur Gulam we tell in Sanskrit. So Rahu need not be negative here. If the Rahu polarity makes it negative, then he is a dawn. So it will take you to the left side, underworld, dawn, anything. And also it's Rahu is a left path. A dacoit is a looters, everything, everyone is Rahu. Only Rahu on a hand. Very, very, very rarely, if there is a positive Rahu, it tells worship of female goddess. You mean to say we have matter and antimatter, right? Scientists talk about matter and antimatter. What we say is there is two polarities, plus and minus, like a god and goddess. So Rahu, in the mythology, we say he used to worship Shakti. What Ishwar we call Ishwar and Ishwari. So Ishwar is incomplete without Ishwari, and Ishwari or Parvati is incomplete without the Ishwar. So Rahu here is female planet. Yeah, in actually Meena Nadi, Rahu is female. In the main astrology, we take Rahu as, sometimes they take it as male, but there is an explanation where Rahu as a planet, that is a dragon head, is a female planet because he was worshipping Shakti or Durga, one with a trident. So anyone who have a negative Rahu should worship Shakti with a trident. So that's how it is. But Rahu is a tamasic planet. It is in general a tamasic planet because he rules over devils in general. And if he sits with a very sattvic planet, for example, take it a very strong sattvic planet like Mercury, or say Jupiter, will sit with a Rahu, and for that ascendant or rising, they are good, then Rahu will do good. So it's not like every time Rahu will do bad. It's like conditional. As far as in Vedic astrology, I'm not talking Nadi now. In Vedic astrology, Rahu does good, but in Nadi we have to check everything. Rahu being tamasic planet should never mix with Rajasic or Sattvic constellation. I am telling, if he is with Jupiter or Mercury in Nadi, yes, there will be some afflictions. Yes, that's how it is. Here Lagna also matters, but Rahu, the best position for him is 3, 6, 11. Even in 10, some say Rahu will do good, but yes, there will be some negatives, because as per the famous scriptures, I believe malefics like Rahu or Ketu, that's dragon head and dragon tail, they do good in 3, 6, 11 only. 10th is again a topic of discussion, because 10th is a pillar of horoscope. I don't think any malefic like Rahu, if he is a positive Rahu, the polarity is thing, that's good. Otherwise, I don't think 10th dragon head, that is Rahu, or dragon tail Ketu is welcome. But some of the learned, who are in the research and the sages believe the 10th house, we have to really we have to check it out, because Rahu is a retro planet. 95%, yes, you heard it right. Somewhere in the transit, Rahu also becomes a bit stationary, and he moves in a normal path for 2 or 3 days. We have to check that, and then he actually make it. That's ephemeris. You have to check. So what I mean to say, Rahu is 95% times retro only, and yes, sometimes due to the apparent, apparent view from the planet Earth, it may seem that the nodes actually become a bit stationary and may actually go a bit in terms of minutes and seconds of arc. They may go back. So here we have to check everything. So we got to know why Rahu is tamasic, because he is related to devils. Again, we come to the Ketu or dragon tail. Dragon tail, in fact, in Nadi, to call dragon tail in English, and in Sanskrit or Hindi, Ketu is the actual thing. I would like to say south node or dragon tail. Dragon tail is nothing but, if you consider Rahu as the snake's mouth, the tail of snake is nothing but the dragon tail. Dragon itself is it indicates it's a snake. So need not be snake. mouth is Rahu, and the part of the end, the rectum is Ketu. Yes, it's in medical things as well. So Ketu is tail. So something microscopic and hidden. So Ketu is evil again. It is tamasic. Why Ketu is tamasic? There is an explanation. See, there was a devil, because whose actual his name was nomenclature Rahu, but by birth he was a devil. In devils there are very few who actually turned up. Or for example, Bali. Bali was from he was not any angel or human. He was a devil actually, but still he took the help of his preceptor Venus. Bali Chakravarti in mythology, we know the story, so we cannot tell, like even in devils there are very few. So that's why we have to check whether Ketu will give 100% negative or positive. Again, polarity, but Ketu here is also a part of Rahu. So what happened here is, one devil actually, he believed God. He actually made this, he meditated for the creator actually. In Vedic it's Brahma, and Brahma told, okay, I'm very much pleased, impressed, and you will ask me any boon, boon. So what happened is, this guy asked nectar only. Can you believe it? This is the only wrong side of devils. They actually meditate, they do sadhanas, okay, they get into things, and they do make for their own selfish things. He asked the creator to give nectar, and okay, the creator thought, the creator Brahma thought, okay, this guy is a bit tricky. Let me do one thing. Let him tell, okay, let the nectar fall in your mouth. That's it. And what happened is, he didn't tell the actual future. What happened? What happened is, the Sudarshana, when the nectar actually was available to this devil in mythology, what happened? He was actually cut into two halves. The first half is the dragon head. That's how they originated. The Rahu and Ketu, or dragon head and dragon tail in mythology. So what happened here is, these things do matters, because Rahu and Ketu, the dragon head and dragon tail, they are of the same body but two planets. Yes, they two are shadow planets but the same body. That's the explanation why Ketu, a positive Ketu, will take you to the higher end of spirituality, liberation, but negative Ketu, oh my god, it actually ruins the native. Yes, and how to determine whether the dragon tail or dragon head is positive or negative, that's benefic or malefic, we'll come to that. But this explains why a devil use their own things, because devils also believe in God. They believe so. They believe in God. They meditate. They take nectar. Why they wanted nectar? They just wanted to be immortal. It's not possible. According to the law, angels, they are good beings. That's why there was a group of angels. They did the sadhanas. They did something, and they got the nectar, amrut, nectar. But that was destined that no single devil should get even one drop of nectar. That's the reason Rahu tricked the creator Brahma, but it didn't work out. He was cut into two halves. This story explains, what, destination may be different, but fate is ultimate. People, they think fate and destiny are two. Yes, you know what, A, B, there is a point. From a city A to city B, you may travel from one route to the other. Destination may be different. That is also known to God, but fate is ultimate. The fate, of Rahu was, he was cut into a half. That's the reason we call dragon head and dragon tail, both are tamasic. While predicting, we have to take care that the tamasic, the Rahu Ketu, the tamasic planet should never get the qualities of the Rajasic or the Sattvic. If there is a connection between tamasic to Rajasic or tamasic to Sattvic, there is some problem in the horoscope. Yes, there will be no problem if a tamasic planet sit in a tamasic constellation. But if there is any exchange between them, then there should be a problem, because everything should be looked in the Meena Nadi. So now, today we are in our 40th minute, and we got to know how we can actually use this simple method in getting anything. Like if you actually master this you may actually make accurate predictions. Well, this is a sattvic, this is a rajasic, this is a tamasic. So out of these qualities, these are the qualities where we can actually say these things can happen. This yes, I also like to tell you, yes, you heard it right. Rahu and Ketu, the dragon head and dragon tail, if they are posited in their own tamasic constellation, they do good. Yes, that's the thing in Meena Nadi. But in reality, in the main Vedic astrology, they have never mentioned. They have some prerequisites that Rahu and Ketu will do good in 3, 6, 11, but all. But in Meena Nadi, you will get a detailed analysis. What are the cases where Rahu and Ketu, because they are mystical axis, when they will do good in the tamasic nakshatra only. Yes, you heard it right. So when the dragon head and dragon tail in the constellation of Mars or Saturn, there is a chance that they may do good sometimes. Yes, because this is the thing which actually determines the actual power of the stellar astrology in Meena. So the Meena one is actually, it's huge. Actually, it's just a basic I'm covering because it's just a second class. So we move to we have covered the 9 planets. Now we will discuss how this is. So what is the scientific basis or something? Because there should be a scientific explanation why this sattvic, that is 100% pure, the rajasic mixture of good and bad, and the tamasic, the 100% bad or evil, actually do comes in the picture. So let us take an example, like say let us consider from the first sign of Aries. Saturn in Aries is debilitation. Yeah, in Meena we say we do use debilitation because that's a foundation. But in Meena says there should be a possible explanation, right? Why is Saturn as a planet is debilitation in Aries 20 degrees, and you observe it, the constellation of Ashwini is tamasic. Exactly, Ashwini is a tamasic constellation, and Saturn is tamasic as well. That is the reason we have to, in Meena, now Meena 1, I call short for Meena 1, we get an idea. Just because you see Saturn is in Aries 0 degrees to 13.20, it doesn't mean Saturn will harm you, because he's away from the 20-degree Aries. That is the 20-degree Aries Saturn is debilitation. There only Saturn we have to announce is debilitation. You know what happens in the initial stages? What we do? Okay, Saturn in Aries 5 degrees is debilitation. No, it will not work that. The exact degrees of debilitation matters in astrology. This is the reason why prediction is not accurate sometimes, because we don't consider the exact degrees. We don't consider the exact degrees. So now we got to know a simple trick. It's not that trick. You already you're already getting. Ketu is tamasic, right? Ashwini is ruled over by Ketu, which is a tamasic constellation. Saturn in posited in Ashwini will do comparatively good than in Bharani. Bharani is what ruled over by Venus, which is a rajasic. Yes, this is the reason a tamasic planet should not be in a rajasic constellation. A tamasic planet should not be in a rajasic constellation, Bharani. Bharani is what ruled over by Venus. Who is Venus? Venus is rajasic. That is the reason Saturn is not comfortable in the nakshatra of Bharani, and he goes debilitation in 20 degree 0 minute 0 seconds exactly. Yes, it's like a Bharani third quarter beginning. It's like we cannot say ellipse. The ellipse of orbit, the elliptical orbit of Saturn is like that. Maybe in Aries, with respect to Earth, it may go too far from Earth, and that's the reason this Bharani third quarter is a very key point where Saturn will not be able to do good, because he goes into deep debilitation in a Rajasic constellation. This explains the basis. Saturn can go debilitation in 10 degrees also. Why is not going? Why? Because it is a tamasic constellation. A tamasic planet in a tamasic constellation has a possibility to do good results, but a tamasic planet in a rajasic constellation like Bharani will not be able to do good. You take the next constellation, that again depends, is Kritika, or we say the first quarter falls in Aries. I move on to the Taurus, where Kritika is ruled over by Sun, who is Rajasic. Again, Sun and Saturn are not comfortable. That is the basic things we see in the Meena. Come to this again, Rajasic. Kritika is Rajasic again. So Saturn is not comfortable in Kritika as well, but he moves to the Taurus. Take the next one. Take the next one. Rohini. There is always a mythological story that Rohini and Saturn. There is a mythological story, and Rohini is wife of Moon. No, Moon actually is the husband of all the 27 angels who are from Ashwini to Revati. Yes, it's not like for angels. It's not like multiple marriage. It's like it's something else. It's not human marriage, because they all 27 of them married Moon. So here what happened, Rohini is the most favorite of Moon. So what happened here is mythology. So there is a connection. While Saturn cannot do much good in Rohini, because Rohini is again ruled by Moon, who is a Rajasic. So Moon, Saturn don't like much of Moon, because Moon does not have any enemies as per the basic Vedic astrology. But in Meena, if we check, Saturn and Moon are not comfortable. But here in Meena, there is something else. There is something else. You come to the Mrugashira. You know what? Mars and Saturn are actually enemies. But in Meena, we have to be very careful while telling the result, because when it comes to Mrugashira, which is ruled over by Mars, Mrugashira is a tamasic constellation, and when Saturn comes to the Mrugashira, he will be having a higher degree, where in the Taurus. So there is a possibility that if for that lagna, if the Saturn is also good and Mars is also good, there is a possibility that Saturn will do really good in Mrugashira nakshatra sometimes, because both are tamasic. Saturn is also tamasic and Mars is also tamasic. You may wonder what kind of astrology is Mars and Saturn are inimical to each other. How can Saturn do good in a star of Mrugashira? Yes, sometimes you have to understand one thing. I am facing someone with a gun, okay, and the other one is also having a gun. You both have gun. Do you think the person A will shoot person B? No, because he will also get killed, right? So minus into minus is plus sometimes. In Meena Nadi, this is the secret. You may wonder. You may have wondered if Sun sits in the star of Venus and Venus sits in the constellation of Sun. Do you think Sun will be able to ruin the native? Because he is in the constellation of Venus. If something he will try to harm, Venus will come to the rescue. And Venus will sit in the constellation of Sun. There is a parivartana, the inter exchange. Then do you think they will? No good. That's just like a story. Person A having a gun and person B also having a gun. Person A is not a stupid fellow. If he shoot, he will also get killed. No, because person B will shoot. This is the explanation why a tamasic planet in a tamasic constellation will do good, because he will not harm. So this is yes, it's something like that. So this has to be studied in Meena. This is why we are actually applying this. This is not a foundation. Meena one is always an expert level. You have to move on. So everything matters here. What degree Saturn is there, whether he is in Mrugashira, whether Saturn is in Mrugashira third pada, then he goes to his friends. Mercury is a friend of Saturn, right? That's a basic thing. Above which we have to see what degree he occupies. Again, if Saturn is again have a possibility that he will do good to the native in the Mrugashira. If he goes to the again next thing, we find it as Aridra, where it is ruled over by dragon head. There also, now we got it. So now it's there. The Rahu is a tamasic, right? And who is Saturn? Saturn is tamasic. That is the reason Saturn is also good in Gemini. Yes, Gemini, because of the reason, not because Mercury is friend, Mercury is owner. You have to check who is the dispositor of that stellar. Dispositor, the nakshatra lord. So we were actually taking only the example of Saturn. The rest of the examples you can work it out. So I go to the Punarvasu. There we have a problem. I believe Saturn being a tamasic will not be able to do 100% of results in a Punarvasu, because in the Meena Nadi it comes to the contradiction. Yes, there is a reason. You can check it out. Punarvasu is ruled over by Jupiter, who is a Sattvic. So again, we have to check Saturn attributes. What are the Karakatva of Saturn? The Karakatva of Punarvasu. The who is the dispositor is Jupiter. We have to see in where he sets. Then we have to declare the result, because a tamasic planet in a Sattvic constellation we will not be able to there are something rules like this. As of now, I will go to the next one, which is nothing but Pushya. Yes, we say it's a one star for Saturn. In some of the books, you may see Saturn in one stars will not do good. No, it's not actually fact. In fact, Saturn in one star, according to Meena, will give results, but there is a delay. But there is he cannot deny, because not because it is his own star. You see, being a tamasic planet will do good in a tamasic constellation, and Pushya is here in this Meena is a tamasic constellation. Because why? The owner, it relates to, this is only one school of thought. You may come a different Nadi over there. For example, you take Dhruva Nadi, it will explain in some other way. You cannot mix everything up. You cannot mix everything up. Meena Nadi is very, very, very precise. They're very particular. A tamasic should never come to contact with a sattvic or a rajasic. So it explains why there is a possibility that Saturn will do good in the nakshatra of Pushya. We come to the Ashlesha. There we have a problem. See, we have to understand one thing. Any planet in Ashlesha will do a bit of health impairments. You have to check the foundation, where there is something called as Drekana. It's not a divisional chart. D3 only is Drekana. If you take a one zodiac sign of 30 degrees, you divide it by 3 equal parts, it becomes 10 degrees, and the 10-degree arc of the whole ellipse is called as the Drekana. So it's basically one sign divided by 3. So there is something called as Sarpa Drekana. Sarpa is venom. So venom Drekana, I will define which are the very sensitive part, where a planet will be able to give money, but he will take away health thing and all. And when there is a Dasha Bhukti, Antar Bhukti, Sukshma Bhukti and Prana Bhukti, they may not, that planet which is situated in Sarpa Drekana. Sarpa Drekana is not a part of Nadi, but it comes in fundamentals. This explains why Saturn will not be able to do much good in Ashlesha Nakshatra. He will do good in Pushya, but I don't think he will give 100% results in Ashlesha. Why? Okay, this is the explanation. The Sarpa Drekana means Sarpa is dragon head, and Drekana is, I told you the definition, the 10th degree of Cancer to the 29.59, or the last 20 degrees of Cancer sign, that is from 10.01 to 0.00 of Leo. It falls under Ashlesha only. That's Ashlesha, the last 4 quarters of Cancer. It comes under Sarpa Drekana, where any planet which they sit, they may give some health impairments, because that is Sarpa Drekana. One more thing, all Sarpa Drekana, there are only 5 Sarpa Drekanas which fall in watery signs only. That is why in a watery sign, if a planet set, we have to check whether the health of a native is actually good in that particular Dasha, Bhukti, Antara, Sukshma and Prana. That is the actual Parashara thing I told. With respect to Meena Nadi, I can say the Saturn will not be able to do good in Ashlesha, but if he is in Pushyami, although being a Sarpa Drekana, that is 10.01 of Cancer to 0.00 of Leo, the beginning, that is the actually Vruksha Sandhi or Gandhanta, that's the last 20 degrees of Cancer in simple falls under Sarpa Drekana. The second Sarpa Drekana we take in the first 20 degrees of Scorpio is called as Sarpa Drekana as well, where any planet with its, especially Moon. So, Moon is, you may ask, why will Moon go debilitation in Scorpio 3 degrees? First of all, it is Scorpio. The first 20 degrees is what? first of all, Scorpio is a venomous sign. The first 20 degrees falls under Sarpadrekana. This is basic. And there the moon was debilitation. And what wonder, moon is mind. Mind. Because moon plus Scorpio is like mind plus venom. That will be there. That's the logic. It's not only logic. You have to think. The first 20 degrees of Scorpio, no planet is actually. If it is there, there are some remedies. Again, we have to check whether it is tamasic, rajasic, or it is a sattvic. So any planet in the 21st, that is 20.01 to the end of Jeshta is good actually. I mean, forget about the last degree, which is again a Gandanta. The last 10 degrees of Scorpio is actually recommended for anything, because the planet also gains strength, and it will actually go far away from Sarpadrekana. The third Sarpadrekana, I mean, the first two Drekanas were in the Cancer, that is 10 to 20 and 20 to 30 degrees. The third and fourth falls under the first and the second Drekana, that is the first 10 degrees and the 10th to 28th degree of the Scorpio sign. The last 10 degrees of the sign Pisces, yes, that comes under Revati, which is again ruled by Buddha. Because in the case of Cancer also, we see Ashlesha is ruled over by Buddha, because Buddha is a very sensitive. Yes, Mercury is sensitive, his constellation Ashlesha is sensitive, but in terms of Jeshta, there is an exception. In the Revati last 10 degrees also, it is a Sarpadrekana. Any planet which sit in the last 10 degrees of Pisces is a Sarpadrekana, which also takes any tamasic planet like Rahu, Ketu, Mars and Saturn, who sits in the last 10 degrees of Pisces also is a Sarpadrekana. They will not be able to do good, because Revati is again a Sattvic constellation. Yes, these are all the things which matters while giving a result. So with this, we are coming to the 56th minute. We saw today is also actually a fundamentals, where we saw that no matter what, for good results for a native, tamasic should not mix with rajasic and sattvic, and a sattvic, yes, a sattvic can mix with a rajasic, and a rajasic can mix with a sattvic. And if a sattvic is there in a sattvic constellation, awesome, it's good. If a rajasic is there in a rajasic constellation, that's also very, very good. This is the reason why Venus in one star and Mercury, Mercury sattvic here, Mercury, majority of the time, Mercury will do good in his own star or Jupiter star. And we have seen this, many scientists, they have Mercury in the star of Jupiter or Jupiter in the star of Mercury. So this explains why Meena Nadi will explain why Jupiter and Mercury, only these two planets are sattvic, and they will be able to do good. With this, today we are going to end our second class in Meena 1, that's Meena Nadi 1. Hope you have, I know I don't want to be sound boring. That is the reason somewhat I took a story of mythology, and sometimes I talk like this, by actions, because you, at the end of the day, you have to get it, who is a sattvic, who is a rajasic, and who is a tamasic. And with this, I am ending the second class. Hare Krishna, Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.